Hello and welcome to Macy Cooks. More importantly, however, welcome to the first ever episode of Make It Your Own. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of my Nana's famous recipes, her chicken enchiladas. I'm going to prepare her recipe just exactly the way that she made it, down to the very last ingredient. But then I'm going to go shopping, pick out different ingredients, and try to elevate that recipe, turning it into my own. I wanted to see if we could take something like a canned chicken enchilada recipe, build on it, and turn it into something that my Nana would be proud of. And I got a new plant friend. Her name is Sabin. That's what Leona named her when I got home yesterday. Yep, be right there. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, the purpose of this video is to see, can you improve on a family classic and make it into your own? Without further ado, let's get baking. Now before we get started, I want to show you the ingredients to my Nana's chicken enchiladas. The main ingredient to this dish is cream of chicken soup. We have canned chicken, sliced jalapenos, hot preferably, corn tortillas, and mozzarella. So here's what we're gonna do. I am going to prepare these down to the last step, and then we're gonna go to the grocery store, pick out what we need for our chicken enchiladas, and then compare the two. Here's the deal though, I thought we might fast travel because I think that this video is gonna get pretty hefty if we don't. First thing you're gonna do is open up a can of cream of chicken soup and put it in a large pot over medium-high heat with some milk. Then, once you've done that, you're gonna open up a jar of jalapenos and pour in a little bit of juice. That's kind of the thing about Nana recipes. They're never precise, are they? No. Mix that around pretty well, open up a canned chicken, drain that meat, and put it into a bowl. Break it all up, okay? Break it up, break it up. Then, once you've done that, you're going to shred some mozzarella. I wasn't sure if that was ever going to end. Okay, put the cheese in, mix that all around with some pepper, and then once that sauce is heated up, you're going to transfer half of it into that bowl. Go ahead and get your setup ready. Should be getting close any second now. Feeling like I need to be an auctioneer, and it is ready to go. All right, mix it around, make sure it's all incorporated. Oh, it smells delicious. All right, let's go ahead and get this going. Medium-high heat skillet. Pull your hair out, Macy. Okay, thanks. All right. Get it all buttered up. Add the tortilla. Once you have that all going, you're going to pull out that first tortilla eventually when it's done and begin filling them. From there, it's just going to continue with that process over and over. It seems to take forever the first time. Okay, there we go. We finally got one in this pan. Okay, I hated it too. Alright, preheat your oven to 375. I'm not sure if I said that already. Anyway, that's what you're going to do. I'll probably notice pretty quickly that I pan stored my oven. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, lazy. Okay. Let's go ahead and put some more in there. And you're just going through this, just one enchilada at a time. Don't burn your fingerprints off, okay? And then again, that's kind of part of the process. In the end, once you have these all in the pan, you're going to find that you have one more corn tortilla left. If you don't, then you're magic or a pro. I'm not sure which one. However, I have never made these without having one corn tortilla left over. So feed it to the dog. All right, cool. Then you're going to cover it in sauce. Smear that all around. I like to top mine with some more jalapenos because that's how my Nana did it. And then once the penas are down, you're going to add a layer of cheese and pop that in the oven for approximately 25 minutes.
I love enchiladas. They're so sweet and they're tender.
They are pretty tender.
And they're sweet and they're chickeny, and also they're crusty and they have cheese in them.
Yes. As you can see, Nana's are cheesy and chickeny, and, well, if you could smell them, they smell very jalapeno-y. My favorite thing about this recipe, honestly, is that jalapeno flavor. So when we elevate, I know I want to keep that. Every time I eat this, it makes me feel like I'm out at my Nana and Grampy's and I'm 12 years old. One thing I do want to work on is that cream of chicken soup is an excellent binder, but I feel like it doesn't really give it enough chickeny flavor. But my God, they're still delicious. Just saying. Now the mozzarella melts beautifully, but there again, you're not really getting a whole lot of flavor from that mozzarella. And I feel like the cheese could be a really good opportunity to kind of amp up that Spanish flavor. We need to come up with a plan. If we're going to be changing up this recipe, there are certain things that we have to maintain. One, for it to be an enchilada, and two, to still be respectful of Nana's recipe. Let's see, we got Nana's enchiladas and Macy's enchilada. Nana's filling, it is comprised of cream of chicken soup, mozzarella, and chicken. Oh, and a splash of jalapeno. Breaking it down further, however, that binder really is that cream of chicken. Now, if we still want it to have that thick, rich consistency, we still need a binder. Obviously, we can't just put chicken in the middle of this tortilla. So what are we going to do to change that up? I've sort of been leaning towards making like a sour cream sauce, maybe starting with like a roux of butter and flour, sauteing some onions perhaps, and then incorporating milk and sour cream. That would be the place also where I could incorporate some jalapeno juice just to keep it close to Nana's. So for our binder, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be comprised of sour cream, milk, jalapeno juice, chicken stock, and lastly, I'm kind of leaning towards perhaps some green chilies. For the protein, I'm sticking with chicken. I mean, that's just kind of a given. As far as tortillas goes, we're gonna stick with corn because I really don't care for flour tortilla enchiladas. Now, as far as the spice goes in Nana's, that is completely jalapeno. But for ours, I'm thinking a combination of jalapeno and green chili. Like Nana's, I'm planning on incorporating some of that sour cream sauce into the filling. So I'm gonna move that up here. But as far as cheese goes, that's kind of the hard part. It has to still be melty, obviously, but I'm really wanting to add like a more cheesy flavor. I don't know, I'm gonna think on it. I'll probably decide that at the store. So here is our tentative plan. We're gonna stick with chicken. The cheese we'll figure out at the grocery store. Sauce / binder is going to be comprised of sour cream, milk, jalapeno juice, chicken stock, and green chilies, corn tortillas, and then for the spice, we're going to incorporate that green chili as well. So I guess let's get to the grocery store. Okay, so I feel like every grocery store hides their jalapenos in different places. I really just don't see me needing that many. There you are, you're just way up there where the short people can't get to you. Alright, I also want some chilies. Mild. I mean, if you're gonna go for it, right? Oh, sorry, excuse me. Are they waiting on me? Oh my god, wait, I don't know. Nana's chicken enchiladas use mozzarella, but I'm wanting to elevate it. But we still need to replace mozzarella with something else creamy and melty. And for that, I'm thinking manchego. Where is you, baby? Where is you, manchego? Gouda, Monterey. Jalapeno pepper jack, Swiss, mozzarella. Oh, there you is, baby. You're hiding up there in the corner. Oh, son of a... Okay. Sorry. Rain gonna wash away, I believe in. Super's is jamming today. Oh, sleeps when it's raining. She screams, and her voice is screaming. She says, baby. Hello and welcome back from the grocery store. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you all the cheese I decided on. I wanted something that was also melty like mozzarella, and I went with manchego. So let's see how this goes, because truth be told, I don't really have that much experience with manchego. Now, in addition to manchego, I also got Monterey Jack, and I think the combination's gonna be really yummy. Also, we will still be featuring the jalapeno juice, because frankly, it's not Nana's chicken enchiladas if it doesn't have that jalapeno juice flavor. In addition to the jalapeno juice, we are going to be featuring our green chilies. I did get hot, so you can change that at home. Again, you'll be a baby, but it's whatever. Now for the binder itself, instead of that cream of chicken soup, we're gonna make our own sauce. I'm kind of going for a chickeny, sour creamy, cheesy sort of thing. Bring in an onion to the party, some butter, sour cream, chicken broth, and some milk. Lastly, the major upgrade is the chicken itself. Now, Nana's has that canned chicken, and there's nothing wrong with canned chicken, but I just think that if that's going to be the feature of the recipe, if it's chicken enchiladas, it should be quality chicken. What I decided to do was buy a rotisserie chicken and shred it up. Now granted, I could have bought raw chicken and I could have prepared it that way and even reserved the chicken juice to go in the enchiladas. But I'm trying to stay as close to her recipe as possible, and I didn't want to get too chefy. How do y'all like being up higher, huh? It's kind of cool. You're in a lamp currently, so who knows if you'll stay. While I've got y'all on the lamp cam and we've got our butter melting, I'm gonna go ahead and grate up some of that Monterey Jack and Manchego. I'm gonna be honest, I think I enjoy saying Manchego too much.
Manchego.
Manchego. Manchego! Welcome back once more to the lamp cam. We're gonna go ahead and add in those onions. And guess what? That butter is hot, hot, hot. And smelling very nutty, which is a good thing. And that's a good thing. Now you'll notice that I did mince these onions fairly fine because I'm sort of wanting them to disintegrate and kind of blend into the sauce. I'm not really wanting a super chunky bite of onion. One thing that I do think Nana got very right was adding the mozzarella to the canned chicken and then adding the warm sauce to that. The reason I say this is because if you attempt to add cheese to a hot sauce, the risk of it breaking is higher. So by adding that shredded cheese to the chicken and then adding a little bit of warm sauce at a time, you're melting that cheese slower and you're reducing the risk of a broken sauce. So while those onions are sauteing, I'm gonna add about half of our Manchego and half of our Monterey Jack to that chicken. One exciting thing about this process is the fact that I'm experimenting while y'all watch. So to be honest, I'm not sure how these are gonna turn out, and that's kind of the cool part. Those onions are starting to brown, but are not by any means caramelized. To that hot butter, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of flour. Now what I'm doing right now by adding that flour to the butter is essentially making a roux. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going with this. I'm really just pulling from techniques that I've learned along the way. And in some instances that I've made a sauce, I've used this technique, so that's why I chose it. When I purchase chicken broth or chicken stock, I always try to go with the low sodium because I like to have control over how much salt is in my food. I don't like having to back down on my seasoning because of salt that was added to a broth. Ended up with about 3/4 of a cup, and to that I'm going to add some milk. By adding the milk to this mixture, I am ensuring that it's going to be creamier, way more similar to the cream of chicken soup than it would have been had we not included milk. While we have this thickening, I am going to add a splash of the green chili juice, as well as a splash of jalapeno juice. Now our sauce is thickening, and it may take a few minutes for it to start to do that. But I thought this might be kind of a neat place to tell you a way to speed that process along. Now one way to thicken a sauce faster is to reserve some of that cooking liquid and then add a little bit of flour to it, mixing it up very well, making sure that all the little clumps are out, and then adding that slurry back to the sauce. That flour will immediately start to thicken it. Important to note, however, do not just add flour to the sauce. I learned that the hard way. It will immediately just clump up into little flour beads, and that's pretty disgusting to ingest. Now that our sauce has thickened up and has also cooled off, I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of sour cream, along with our spice blend, which is comprised of chili powder, smoked paprika, cumin, salt, and garlic powder.
Just gotta try it with some jalapenos. Oh, that's good.
Lastly, to our sauce, I'm gonna add about 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons of these hot green chilies. Guys, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty excited because it's starting to smell a lot like my Nana's chicken enchiladas, but also not like my Nana's chicken enchiladas. To our bowl of chicken, manchego, and Monterey, we are going to add half of that sauce mixture. Give that a good mix, trying to get it all incorporated. Make sure to listen for the schlepping noise. So at this point, what we're gonna do is the development of the enchilada. So I'm gonna take some butter and melt it in the skillet. I do the Crayola thing. That's just how I do it. And to that butter, I'm gonna add 2 corn tortillas, mix them around and then flip them over. And that's gonna take a little bit to come up. As you go, the process gets faster and faster because the skillet's hot and you get a rhythm and it becomes this thing where like, you don't know the end between the enchilada and yourself. You lose track, really. For the love of God, will you stop smelling? All right, so now that they are softened on that side, flip them over. You're not trying to fry these, you're just trying to soften them. And they don't have to be browned or anything. It's just corn tortillas are notorious for if they're not softened and you try to roll them up, it's just this disaster where they break and they split and then you cry and then the next thing you know you're in a corner or in a closet and it just soften them. All right, move those over to the side when they are ready, and while those are cooling off just a hair, you're gonna go ahead and put some more butter in the skillet. This is a super healthy process. I feel like it looked a little less horrible when we were going real fast earlier, but now you're going to see just how healthy it really is. So butter that side and flip them. Alrighty, while those are cooking, we are going to fill our first enchiladas. Using about a tablespoon of filling as in way more than a tablespoon, but you're going to use an actual tablespoon. Put that into the center of the enchilada. And just roll it up and place it into a baking dish. These don't have to be perfect because they're going to bake sort of like a casserole. So you just want to try to keep as much filling as you can in the center. One of the coolest things about this recipe, my Nana's in particular, is that she taught it to my mom, and then my mom taught it to me. And so around the holidays, anytime we would be making these, we would have like my aunt and my grandma and my mom and my sister, and we would set up sort of like an assembly line, and one person would be handling the tortillas, and then one person was handling the cheese, and then someone else was filling and someone else was rolling. And it's just, that's, I think, what makes a family recipe so great is that it's not just the food that you remember, it's the memory of making it with the people you love. Ah, we're getting so close and I'm getting more and more excited. To your filled and rolled enchiladas, you are now going to take the remaining sauce and pour it over the top, just like my Nana did. I'm going to place a layer of jalapenos with the addition of some hot green chilies on top before covering it with a layer of cheese. Now that we have our jalapeno and green chili layer, we're gonna add some cheese. Manchego. So that's a thing now. Now that we've got them covered in our peppers and our manchego, now that we have them covered in our peppers and our cheese, we're gonna place them in a 375-degree oven for approximately 25 to 30 minutes, or until that manchego is melted. It's been 25 minutes and she is perfect. So here they are, and truth be told, I'm pretty proud because they're very similar. The main difference, I would say, is the cheese. The mozzarella on the right browned a little bit differently than the manchego. The truth, however, will be in the chicken.
The truth is in the chicken should be a t-shirt.
The truth is in the chicken. All I'm saying is, wow. So those are amazing. I am pretty proud, actually, and I think that Nana would be too. For the record, Nana's are delicious. Hers are primarily a mouthful of jalapeno-y flavor. When you eat this, you taste chicken and jalapeno. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what you're gonna get, is chicken and jalapeno. With these, you're getting the peppers and the heat from the green chilies, and then that very juicy, tender chicken, because it's not just white. It's, it's white and dark meat. On top of that, you have a very unique combination of the Manchego and the Monterey Jack. Overall, guys, I'm really proud. This is not your Nana's chicken enchiladas, but it is. It's really good. Overall, I am super proud of this experiment. I took something from my childhood that I love and will always, always hold dear, and then made it my own. I think Nana would have been proud. I really do, because when you eat this, it reminds me of her chicken enchiladas, but they're mine. I guess if it all gets down to it, then the truth is in the chicken. Get baking, y'all.